Look, I know you guys are training hard to get an anime level physique, but if you really want to take your training to the next level, you need to stop neglecting these 5 muscles that you definitely aren't training. Not only will training these muscles enhance your physique even more, but it'll also make you a lot stronger, help you to perform moves better, and keep you nice and healthy even when you're a billion years old. So if you're treating these muscles like how Toji treats Megumi, get it because he's neglectful, then start putting some quality effort into training these 5 neglected muscles. I'm going to show you exactly the 5 muscles that you're not training enough, why you need to start training these muscles, and how to target these muscles with just bodyweight training. And stick around because number 5 is particularly very important. But Kevin, I'm already training all of my muscles. Why should I bother training these? I already have a dummy thick ass. Well, sure, maybe you are already training your lats, your arms, your chest, etc. However, there are some muscles on your body that just don't get as much love as they should. And these muscles, if trained properly, can actually make a huge difference in your physique. I'm gonna show you right now, right at this very instant, right freaking now, which muscles you are neglecting and how to train them. The first muscle that you need to start training now is one of the most neglected muscles that I see anybody skip on. In fact, I see calisthenics athletes skip it, I see bodybuilders skip it, I see weightlifters skip it. It's not a muscle that gets a lot of love, but it does deserve a lot of love. It's a good muscle, I promise. Because if you train this muscle, it can enhance your aesthetics like tenfold. And this is a muscle you see on characters like Sung Jin-woo, Toji, and even Garo. So if you want any chance of looking like these guys, you need to start training your serratus anterior. This muscle connects your shoulder blade to your ribcage. And just to show you exactly how important these muscles are for aesthetics, let's do a bit of a visual experiment. Here's a picture of Sung Jin-woo with his serratus, and here he is without. Doesn't look as good, right? Well, now here's a picture of Toji, and then a worse picture of Toji. Now here's a pic of Garo. Ooh, monstrous Garo. And then here he is again. Can you see where I'm going with this? The serratus does a whole lot to enhance the physique. That tiger claw muscle on the side of somebody's rib cage is one of the telltale signs that someone is absolutely ripped, which is why these anime characters are drawn with a well-defined serratus. It accentuates the V-taper because of the way it orients on the body, and they enhance the look of your abs. They're basically just pointing to your stomach saying, hey there, look at my abs. They're pretty cool, huh? But the serratus is more than just a show muscle. For one, a well-developed serratus is great for stabilizing the shoulder. If you ever seen anybody with scapular winging, which is when your shoulder blades stick out of your back, you know it's not really that pretty. So if you happen to have this, strengthening the serratus is one of the ways you can correct this sort of shoulder blade posture. But even if you don't have this, it's just a great way of making the shoulder blades a lot stronger. And lastly, having a strong serratus just makes you strong in general. A lot of the cool calisthenics moves, such as the planche and even the push-up to some extent, benefit from having a strong serratus. And having good control over your shoulder blades just unlocks whole new avenues of training for you guys. So if you want both amazing aesthetics and incredible strength, then you have to know how to train this muscle. The first exercise you'll want to try is scapular push-ups. By hauling your body and sort of pushing your shoulders down to the ground, you'll naturally be training your serratus through scapular protraction. You can do these on your hands, but there's nothing stopping you from doing these on your elbows, except me. I'm gonna stop you. But if you want to take it up a notch and actually make it a lot harder, you can do pseudo planche leans. The requirement for you to push your serratus is a lot greater when you're leaning forward. You can do these for reps, or you can be more static and do isometric training. And you don't have to limit yourself to these. Any sort of planche training or even pseudo planche push-ups is going to do great work on your serratus. But let's say you don't want to bother messing with these exercises, you don't want to modify your training too much, then you can simply do scapular protracted push-ups. It's just like a normal push-up, but at the top, you protract your scapula extra hard. It's just a little extra step, but it really helps for those who don't want to add an extra exercise to their routine. And of course, this can be done with any push-up variation, not just this one. But we can't just stop at the serratus, because if you want some truly big and healthy shoulders, then there's another muscle that you need to start training now. Now, I know most of you are just starting your calisthenics journey because you guys want to get some anime physiques and you want to do some cool moves. But this journey does come with a few risks like overuse injury and unnecessary shoulder pain. If you've been training calisthenics for a while, you probably know what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not trying to scare you guys from training calisthenics. With enough careful training, you're not going to run into any sort of problems. And you can especially mitigate a lot of shoulder pain or injury by training this particular muscle, which is the rotator cuff. By adequately training this muscle, you're going to keep your shoulder nice and stable for those harder moves such as the one-arm pull-up or the planche. And if you already have shoulder pain, strengthening the rotator cuff can actually help to mitigate some of that pain, speaking from experience. So in order to specifically target the rotator cuff, you'll want to do any exercise that rotates your shoulder outward or external rotation. So if you want to target this muscle at home with just body weight, there are 2 exercises that I think you should do. The first one is the face pull. I actually love doing these on the rings or even on machines just because they feel really nice on the shoulders and they're just so good. They're so good. They're amazing. But if you're looking for more direct rotator cuff stimulation, then rotator cuff raises will also do the trick. Instead of pulling your arms fully back like a face pull, you're actually just rotating your hands towards you. I do these once in a while and I try not to go too heavy on this because, again, you're just working the small muscle, which is the rotator cuff. So be careful on these. But I know, you're not here just for healthy shoulders. In fact, screw having healthy shoulders. Who needs them anyway? I'm here for some thick and juicy arms. And I bet you are too. And while you can work your biceps and triceps, there's one muscle in your arm that you have to train if you want to develop some thick anime arms. See, if you've ever seen sleeper builds online, a lot of these guys have very skinny arms at the beginning, but when they flex it over to the side, I'm wearing a big shirt so you can't see it. There's my arm reveal. At first they look like twigs, but when they flex it over to the side, then it starts to look like a tree trunk. So if you want your arms to look strong, both from the side and from the front, then you need to start training the brachialis muscle. This is a muscle that sits right next to your bicep on your upper arm. And when you grow this muscle in particular, it actually helps to widen the look of your arms. It's the same reason why characters like Toji look so huge when you see him from the front. And one of the best exercises for this is close grip pull-ups. And you don't need to have your hands super close together for this exercise, just as long as you feel your bicep working. But this isn't the only exercise for the brachialis. Any pulling movement where your hands are in a neutral grip position will work that muscle just as well. And you could do things like neutral grip pull-ups, or my favorite variation, the commando pull-up. But to get big anime arms, you know we can't just stop here. You know I'm not done talking about big ass arms, because there's another key muscle group on your arms that you need to be training for. So you're probably not gonna walk around with your shirt off all day just to show off your huge biceps. Only true Giga Chads can do that. And some weirdos, they do that too, sometimes me. The best you're gonna get is rolling up your sleeves. But if you still wanna show off your anime gains, even if you're working in an office or something, then you need to start training one of the most attractive muscles on a guy, which is the forearms. Naturally, you're going to be training forearms a lot if you're doing a lot of calisthenics, but if you really want these muscles to pop, you got to start training them directly. And one of the best exercises is the classic dead hang. These are awesome for training grip, but also getting those forearm pumps. And because they're not that taxing, you can train these pretty much every day for like 5 minutes. Plus, you can easily up the difficulty by just using one arm. But if you really want to challenge yourself, then doing false grip hangs are the way to go. These are a lot harder and require a stronger forearm flexor to achieve. If you want to make it easier, using one arm at a time, I think works best. But if you're really brave, try doing false grip pull-ups, which are going to really start cramping your forearms. I highly recommend these. But that's not my favorite pull-up variation for the forearms. My favorite is actually towel pull-ups. I love these because they force you to crush the towel in your hands just to stay on. And plus, these also have the added bonus of working your brachialis muscle too. But of course, if you find these too difficult, just doing towel hangs is going to work your forearms just fine. But out of all of these muscles, they pale in comparison to the most important under-trained muscle in your body. In fact, if you could only pick one muscle from this video, it has to be this one. It has to be. The most important muscle to train in your body is the heart. Look, that may be freaking corny and, not exciting, right? But I promise you, if you don't train this, there is no shot of you getting an anime physique. Allow me to explain. The heart is responsible for pumping blood around the body, and training the heart helps it pump blood better. But the inverse of that is not training the heart makes pumping blood not as efficient. And poor circulation means you don't live as long. That means you die. And dead people turn into skeletons. Skeletons got no muscle, and people with no muscle cannot have physiques. By that, we can infer that people without physiques can't have anime physiques. Therefore, if you don't train your heart, you can't have an anime physique. The math is mathing, guys. Look, in all seriousness, you gotta train the heart. You guys need to start doing your cardio. Not only is it gonna help you live longer, it's good for your heart, good for your circulation, but doing cardio also helps you to burn more calories, and then you can shred down to get a lean physique, just like your favorite anime characters. But Again, we're not training just to look good. We're also training to be healthy and actually live a long, high quality life. So show your heart some love, hop on that treadmill, go for that walk, bike or something, I don't know, any other cardio activities, anything you can think of. Now, I know I said 5 muscles at the beginning of this video, but there's actually a 6th muscle group that you guys are probably neglecting and not training enough. And you'll definitely want to target these if you want to look anything like an anime character. And that's the washboard, the shredded, the aesthetic abdominals. So if you want to learn exactly how to train those at home without any sort of weights, then check out this video right here.